If you allow your customers to charge their invoices on account, you will need to know how to run statements, how aging works, and how to set up and generate finance charges. Before generating statements, you should make sure that the system settings pertaining to statements are set to print in the way that you would like them to. Let's go to Setup Entry, System Settings. Now click Statements Finance Charges. Here, there are several settings that will make a difference on how and when the statements are printed. Click the drop down here to change the day of the month that you want your statement period to close. When you print statements, the invoice number prints next to each listed transaction. If you would like the work order number to print with it as well, select this option. If you have multiple locations, AutoFluent will by default age all stores at the same time. If you would like to re-age them separately, choose this option. Use this setting to change the way that your customers are re-aged. If you use terms longer than net 30, choose the Use Future Due When Aging. This will add an additional column to both your aging reports and statements called Future Due. This will allow a customer to see any amount that they owe that is not yet due to be paid. If you choose this option, the statement won't list unpaid invoices, but will still show the customer's balance forward and any applied payments or adjustments. This option will prevent the customer number, as found in the payments window, from printing on the statement. If you choose this option, the customer's statement will show payments that were made, but won't list what invoices each payment was applied to. If you want your customers to send their payments to a different address than is listed on your invoices, enter the name of the business on the top box and your address in the lower box. Make sure to check the Use Alternate Address box if a different address has been set up. Make sure to save any changes. Next, click on the Finance Charge Settings tab. Here you can set your annual interest percentage rate, the minimum finance charge, the terms for the finance charge, and how old the debt has to be before finance charges are generated. Save any changes. On the Statement Messages tab, you can enter a different custom message that will print on the statement depending on how past due the balance is. If no messages are entered, it will use the default message that prints based on their sales category. Make sure to click the Save button when done, and because all of these are system changes, log out and restart AutoFluent for the changes to take effect. To generate statements for your customers, navigate to Customers Reports. From the drop-down menu, click on Statements. Here you have quite a few options at your disposal that will help you generate statements in the way that makes the most sense to you. The statement date will be the date that appears on the top of the generated statements. Print From and To will show all unpaid invoices that were created during this date range if the Open Item option is selected when printing invoices. The aging date is simply the day that the customer's transactions will be aged to. If you want to print statements for customers that have credit balances, check this box. If you check this box, you will not generate statements for customers that have no balance, but may have done business with you during that time period, either by charging invoices and paying their balance, or customers that make payments that zeroed out the balance on their account. If you plan on emailing statements to all of your customers, check this box to only print statements for those customers that do not have an email address on file. Re-aging before printing will refresh the customer's balances before printing to reflect recent transactions. If you only want to print a statement for one customer, click this button and select the customer from your customer list. If you'd like to have a special message for your customers, such as a thank you or a holiday greeting, you can enter it here. You can add a description for your finance charges here, and the date to appear on the finance charges through this calendar drop-down. To generate new finance charges, click this button. If you print the statements and you dislike the way the finance charges turned out, all finance charges generated since last generating a daily report will be deleted. The format you decide will either print statements that only show balances, payments, and adjustments during the statement range, or statements that list all open invoices and the total due for each one of them. Now you can choose to either print or email your statements. You have just learned how to create customer statements.